guys, welcome to Ultrasound Wednesdays. So, over on my Instagram page, and by the way, if you are not following me on Instagram, you should be, because I do a lot of Q&As over there. So, on Monday, I did Q&A, ask me questions you want to know about ultrasound, and it went really good. So, I'm going to answer a couple of them here on the channel, and yeah, let's get into the video. A lot of you guys are wondering, like, the experience of being an ultrasound tech, like going through school, and I'm just gonna hit on like how my experience was. When I went to school, it was 20 years ago, and it was difficult if you didn't have a medical background. And I came with a medical assistant background, so I knew like the anatomy and the functions of the organs, and like lab values, normal, what's not normal, lab values, those type of things that play into ultrasound that you need to know. The ultrasound physics portion of the program was the most difficult, as you probably will hear a lot of ultrasound techs say that. The anatomy part came fine for me. What else did we do? The scanning, it was second nature. I literally picked it up like it was nothing. So as far as my experience going through school, it was easy. I have to say it was easy. I'm not a good test taker, so the testing out of the program was kind of hard for me, but I did it. And when I say hard, I got a C. So yeah. But anywho, I passed physics with a C. It was hard, and I think it was more hard because my program was the first program to have night school. So I went to work during the day, and at night is when I went to school. So I worked 8 to 5, and then the program was from 6 to 10 at night. And I think we probably changed like four physics teachers in that program. So I think one teacher would teach one way, the other one would teach another, and then so on and so on. And when we finally had a solid ultrasound teacher or physics teacher, it was kind of like late in the game, and I was over it by then. But I did what I had to. I studied, and I passed it with a C. Moving on to the anatomy portion of it. Everybody, if you know your organs, say you know you have a liver, you know you have a pancreas, you know you have, kidneys, things like that. I think the prerequisites of knowing like the functions of them will help you a lot with ultrasound school. What else? The location of your organs will help you a lot, because literally if you were to lay down and like kind of, this is probably gross to some of you, but if you would lay down and like kind of peel off layers of your skin and then get into your organs, they literally lay just like that. And it's not, and that's how you scan a patient. It's not, rocket science. It's literally that simple. I mean, your livers on your right side up here under your rib cage, that's where you scan at. Like your kidneys, we use the liver and spleen as a window to see the kidneys. The kidneys are in the back of the flank area of the body. Like if you put your hands on your hips, where your thumbs lie is where your kidneys are. So but if you were to scan, you lay down on the table, and we use the liver and the spleen to see those organs, which are the kidneys. So if you like kind of open up an anatomy book and look at a body, you see the layout of the land. That's how you scan. So that was pretty simple, because like I said, the medical assistant background helped me a lot. The scanning portion, I was frustrated going through school because I was slow, and I wanted to be like the teacher. I wanted to be fast. I wanted to be, you know, more, not efficient at that time, but I just wanted to know the buttons. I wanted to know how does this all go together. And going through school, you don't learn that until you get out into the field. Because in school we did, like, the test would be about the liver, and that's the only organ we would scan. And then the test would be about the kidneys, and then we only would have to scan the kidneys. I didn't know how to lay it all together. I didn't know how to do a whole protocol in the beginning, and a whole abdomen protocol, or a pelvic protocol, or a thyroid protocol. I just knew where the organs were and how to scan each organ. I didn't know how to make it look like a story. So yeah, I think that was like my number one thing. So moving on, ultrasound school, it's what you make it, literally. I mean, if you go in there thinking it's gonna be hard, it's gonna be hard, it's gonna dominate you, but you could do it. If you go in and be like, okay, I got this, and I could do this, this is what I want to do, this is the field I want to enter into, you're gonna knock it out the park. Moving on to the next question. Balancing school and life. That was probably easy, because I didn't take the school. You have to remember, this is 20 years ago. If it was today, I'd probably look at it a lot different. But 20 years ago, let me just give you an insight of that. I had graduated medical assistant school, and I literally probably entered ultrasound school within the next year, year and a half. So going through medical assisting school was very easy. I think I aced it, and you know, it was no issues at all. Going to transitioning into the ultrasound program, I felt like I could do the same type of thing, kind of lay back, not really take it serious, and I didn't stress off of it as much as I should have at that time. I was working 8 to 5 as a medical assistant in an urgent care, and then I would have to drive like 30 minutes to get to school. And when I got to school, it was just that, like, I would wear the same scrubs I wore doing the work and go to school with them. And I got wrote up a lot, but only because, like I said, I didn't take it serious. I didn't know what I was getting into, and looking back on it, I think I would have probably, no, I know that I would have taken it a lot more serious, because it would have benefited me through the years of ultrasound. With the help of my classmates, I think we literally had 12 people in my classroom, and only like 5 of us graduated, which was crazy. And that's how a lot of people couldn't balance it. A lot of people were like, no, I have kids, I can't do this. But a lot of them had a baby. One of my girlfriends had a baby in school, and she finished, and she's an ultrasound tech, flourishing now. And so she's been in the field for 20-something years now too, as well. And so, like I said, I think it's just the determination of the individual. If you want something, if you want to do it, you're going to do it. You're not going to allow circumstances in life to hinder you from your goals. Yeah, go for it. Moving on. I think, well, not moving on, but I think I answered that question. Balancing life and school is difficult, but you just have to do it. Yeah. Next question. Money. Let's talk money. Everybody wants to know, well, how much do you get paid? How much do you get paid? And I toggled on this question because, you know, I live in California, Northern California at that. And Northern California is probably the one of the top pay areas that you could work as an ultrasound tech. And so for me to give you a figure, it wouldn't be fair, because for the people who work in Alabama or someone who works in Georgia, you're not going to get paid what Northern California techs get paid. I hear that it's comparable to like the cost of living. So if you live in Georgia, you might make $25 an hour in a hospital, and in a clinic you might make 21, but it's like you'll still be at the top tier of pay because you live in Georgia. So that's what I'm kind of trying to say. Northern California is very pricey. You have Silicon Valley, you have the Bay Area, you know, $1 million homes everywhere you go, $500,000 homes everywhere you go. So I think it's just where you live. It pans out. Start off pay for an ultrasound tech here in Northern California ranges between $28 and $33 an hour. And it just depends on like your experience and where you went to school, your background as far as like what your externship site was like. Did you actually enhance your skills? Did you improve? Are you efficient? You know, that type of thing. A lot of employers look at that. So as for me, I will not work anywhere in the United States less than $50 an hour. And that's just a flat figure that I am like comfortable with my family, our lifestyle, and how we live. That is what works for us. It's not what I get paid. I'm just letting you know, I make more than that, but I'm not gonna work nowhere in the United States for less than $50 an hour. The other thing is, I worked it out where I also get a per exam fee. So I get my hourly wage and I also get my per exam. And I think that just goes with experience. It goes with how many registries you have. It goes with all of that. So just to answer your question on money. So you're looking at someone with 20 years entering the field. Like I said, you'll probably get about $28 to $33 an hour, and it all depends on, you'll probably get the more 33 if you're efficient and you're good and you actually take your clinical serious, and you'll probably get the $28 or $25 an hour if you are a newbie, you know, someone who needs help scanning, someone who needs assistance when scanning. So yeah, ultrasound is a very independent field. Work independently. So if you can't do that, this field is not for you. You're gonna have to make decisions right then and there about patients' health, and like, do I need to call the doctor on this, or do I not need to call the doctor on this? So we make a lot of like on the spot decisions with patient care at the time of scanning. So you're gonna have to be processing that as all at the same time as you're scanning. And so it just depends on your experience as well. I mean, you're not gonna get top dollar if you're only, you know, in the field for a year. So don't expect that. I know that Northern California, Kaiser, actually pays on a tier system. So it depends on how many, your years of experience plays a part, and how many registries you have. So if you have like 6 registries, you're gonna get like, they have it broken down. 1 to 5 years with 6 years of experience, you get paid this much. So it just depends. That's a hospital setting as well. I work in an outpatient clinic, so I'm over the hospital setting, with the hustle and the bustle of the call and the ERs and the, you know, going portables and things like that. That's my next. We're going into the next question as well. Compare hospital working versus outpatient working. Hospital work is for someone who likes to stay busy 8 hours in a day, literally. when I first graduated from school, and probably up until I had my second son, I did hospital. That's all I did. And my son is he's 10 now, and I think I stopped hospitals probably 6 years ago. So yeah, it was nice, it was fun, it was a lot of work, a lot of no sleep, and I traveled as well. So I traveled probably for 15 years, and no, I traveled longer than that. Wow, I traveled 18 years of travel, and a lot of not seeing my family. You know, I literally had my children and I was probably back working within the next week or two. So yeah, that's traveling life, and that's also like hospital life too. You're working literally 1 night or 2 nights of call a week, and then you'll do a whole weekend. So that's Friday to Monday morning call, and you're on call. You pretty much are living at a hospital, depending on where you work. If they're that busy, you're at the hospital the whole shebang. When I was doing that, one weekend, literally, you guys, one weekend that I worked from, I got off work on Friday at 5:30, and I went on call at 7 that evening, Friday 7 p.m. to Monday 7 a.m. I was on call that whole weekend, and I made like $7,000 in one weekend. So that was really nice. I miss the luxury of money, but I don't miss the work at all, not at all. I love what I do now. I work in an outpatient clinic, and the hours are 8 to 5, no weekends, no holidays. I have a family, I'm a wife. I like to go on my kids' school trips and field trips and things like that. So the demand of a hospital does not fit my lifestyle. So that's the reason why I don't work in a hospital now. I like to know my schedule. I like to know that, okay, tomorrow I have 10 patients on the schedule and maybe a couple of add-ons or stat patients, and that's it. And then I'm able to leave work. So I like that luxury. And I also work by myself. I'm literally the only ultrasound tech in my facility. We have 3 locations, and each location has only 1 ultrasound tech. So that's really nice. Working in the hospital, you deal with a lot more politics. The union, which is great. I love having a union to work under, but you get into the corporate politics, and I didn't like it. I didn't like politics of, set schedules and working together as, with other ultrasound techs and having to hear about their drama and department drama or things like that. I didn't like hospital politics at all. Outpatient, you have a lot less of that. You still have some of it, but you have a lot less of it. You're able to control it just a little bit more. Yeah, so in a hospital, you deal with outpatients. So you might have 10 patients on your outpatient schedule, and then you also have the demand of the ER, and ER might call you for 3, 4, 5 patients, and then you might have the floor who has already 12 patients ordered for you to do upstairs, and that workload is shared between maybe 4 to 5 other techs. But depending on where you are scheduled at, probably the majority of it will fall on newbie, making sure that she's holding her weight, making sure he's holding his weight, making sure that you're working with the group fine. You're able to work independently. Like I said, ultrasound field is an independent work career. A lot of techs don't like to like, oh my God, you know, she has another question, or dang, didn't I just go over this with her the other day? And you know, we don't like to like kind of baby you. Like, this is, you get in, you do your job, you knock it out the park. You ask the doctor if you need help, or if you can ask an ultrasound tech. We're not mean that way, but we're taking care of what we're doing over here as well. So you have to remember that. But yeah, so that's the hospital side of it, and that's the outpatient. Outpatient, you don't deal with ERs, you don't deal with inpatients, and that's it. The pros and cons of being an ultrasound tech. The pros for me are the money, the closeness you develop with your patients. I love my patients to death. The environment, the success level, you feel like you feel accomplished. I like that feeling of being an ultrasound tech or a sonographer. I remember when I was a medical assistant, I developed films for an ultrasound tech and radiology group here in California, and I always was intrigued by the ultrasound techs and how, you know, they held themselves and how the doctors respected them. And you know, it was like, God, that's what I want. You know, I want to be respected on the job. I want to be having that title of she's a shit. But so when I went to school, and you know, now that I'm in the field, I love that part of my job where I'm, you know, 20 years into it, and I have that title. I get the respect from doctors, and you know, you're able to talk to a doctor and on their level type of, you know, feel, and I like that. That's one of the pros that I do like about ultrasound. The cons of my job, some patients could be jerks, I'm not gonna lie. You're gonna have tough skin. Some radiologists will be a jerk. I've had radiologists make me cry, and I'm not the only one ultrasound tech out there that has cried over a radiologist. Radiologists, you know, they could be mean and cruel, and but because of those type of doctors, you just develop a tougher skin, and you keep on pushing and move past that. The cons are, as when I said, the patients. You know, I've had patients say, you know, I don't want you to scan me. You're black. You know, can I get someone else? You run into those type of patients where you just don't gel, and that's okay. You just ask them to politely leave, or, you know, I'm sorry, I'm the only one here. You can reschedule with another tech if you choose. But you just keep on pushing. So the other con is probably when I was working in a hospital, and the hours, the call, those type of things. I hustled, but I didn't like it. The cons of my job is but being a part of some of the diagnosing of a patient, and when you see something that rips your heart, like, you know, being in the medical field, you know the next step that they're gonna have to deal with, and you know that maybe chemo or radiation is gonna play a part of this, and it takes a toll on you a little bit. You know, you start to kind of carry it after 20 years of doing this. I'm burnt out a little bit, so it's, you know, it's more or less of, you know, I'm doing my job and I'm helping patients, but it's still, I bring it home now, and where in the beginning I didn't. And it hit home for me when my mom was diagnosed with breast cancer 12 years ago, and you know, she passed away last year, and it really hit again. You know, it was the beginning of her diagnosing, and when she passed away, it was just like, I don't want no part of this medical field. Like, I'm good, you know, because I've seen the ups and the downs of it. And my dad kind of encouraged me and said, you have to remember, you're there for a reason. You're helping patients, and if you didn't do your job, they wouldn't know if they had anything. So that kind of like kept me motivated to go. And like, yeah, you're right, Dad, you know, it's true, that's what we do. And I took it and ran with it, and I'm still doing it to this day. It has paved the way for a lot of things in my family's life that we've done and traveled, and cars and things like that, and investments, and you know, so that's a plus. And yeah, pros and cons of ultrasound, I mean, you're gonna have them, you're gonna deal with both sides of it, but I think the main thing to realize is that we do a job that is specialized, and when we put that probe on that patient, we are definitely doing them justice. Let's find out why they have pain. Let's find out why they're, you know, even having the doctor send them here. So we take a big load of a patient's care when they're on our table. So just remember that. Yeah, I believe that's it. Thank you guys. You know, there's Ultrasound Wednesday. It's here. It's not going nowhere. Ask me questions, please. I am here. I'm fluid with that. I don't mind. I'm an open book. I will let you know what you want to know. Yeah, so every Wednesday I'll be posting a ultrasound video. It's called Ultrasound Wednesday. And follow me on Instagram. That's important, because a lot of, you know, you can send me DMs over there. You can ask me questions. I'll do videos. Send me, you know, video, what are they called? Send me video ideas, and you know, I'll be more than willing to do a video on whatever you want to know. So see you in our family vlog as well. That helps me so I can do more of these videos. So please subscribe, hit that like button below, and hit that bell over there too, so you can get future uploads. I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.